What's going on, guys? Today's a pretty awesome unboxing for me because it marks the start of my new build, and it's a pretty good start. I decided to go ahead and invest in the X99 platform. Now, as I'm sure you all know and are expecting, this is going to be a Hackintosh, and I am a full-time Hackintosh user, have been for about 4 years now, and as of this point it's not officially supported on this platform yet. You do need to have a custom kernel, and actually today is October 16th. Yosemite just came out. I don't even think it's available for download yet, but it has been announced that it is available today, so sometime before midnight. I hope to start at least working on a tutorial for that for you guys, but at this point in time I'm still not even sure if Yosemite requires a patch kernel or not. I believe it does, but Apple could surprise everybody in the final release, who knows. But regardless, this is going to be an unboxing video of, I guess, 3 different things, although one is a lot more interesting than the other 2. The one that's going to be more interesting is this guy right here. This is the Gigabyte X99-UD4 motherboard, and this isn't going to be a crazy in-depth unboxing or motherboard unboxing like I usually do. I kind of want this video to be just kind of a general overview and not a really in-depth unboxing of this board. But if you guys do want to see like an in-depth breakdown of every single like chipset and the memory standards and things, go ahead and hit that like button. I'll see what I can do for you. But like I said, today's video is just going to be more of a general unboxing. This is what it is. Here's a couple key features, and that's about it. But also what I'm going to give you guys is an unboxing of some DDR4 memory. This is nothing special. I mean, this is just some kind of, I would even dare to say, crappy RAM compared to some of the RAM that's out there. That said though, this is 2133 megahertz, and I'm running 1333 right now, so even the crappy X99 RAM is much better than what I'm using right now. But this is DDR4, as you could probably see there, because X99 does require the new memory standard. DDR3 and previous is not compatible. This is 288 pin compared to traditional like 240 pin, so you can't use that, so you have to go get new RAM and also a new processor. This is a Core i7-5820k. This is the lower of the 2 6 cores available on this platform. This is a socket 2011 version 3, so this is not backwards compatible with, say, like a 4930K or any of those processors. X99 does indeed make you go out and buy new RAM and a new CPU, even though there's the same number of pins. So that said, it's kind of an expensive platform to get into. If you just built yourself, say, a Sabertooth X79 build or an Asus P9 X79 Pro, any of those other socket 2011 builds, you don't really need to go running off to X99. You're fine. However, I'm running not 1 but 2 iterations of Intel's Enthusiast platform. I'm running an X58A-UD3R. So it went from the X58 to X79, and now it's X99, the last 3 Intel Enthusiast platforms. So I skipped quite a while, and so this was a good investment for me. And so, like I said, it does require a patch kernel at the moment, but that should be updated very soon. And even if I really have to, I can hold off and just run Windows on this just for a couple things until the actual kernel is released. But with that said, enough rambling, long intro. Let's go ahead and get started with the unboxing of all this fun stuff. Alright, so here's like a nice little tech pile that I'll be unboxing today, and I'm going to unbox it in order of most excitement, reverse. So this is the least exciting thing, probably the next most exciting thing, and then the big Bertha here at the bottom, the X99-UD4 motherboard. So this is just some RAM. This is going to be a very, very simple and straightforward unboxing. But right here, just to show you a few extra things here, it is 8 gigabytes, and it's just 1 DIMM. Of course, this is X99 socket 2011, so there are 8 RAM slots. So I wanted to get 8 gigs just to start small and then upgrade, just because, like I said, this is kind of expensive to jump into. So I wanted to start off with 8 gigabytes and then maybe double it to 16, double it again to 32, but I can do that over time. Honestly, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this RAM. It's not fancy RAM. There's no heat spreaders or anything on it like that. So I know that this isn't, like the best RAM, but I also know that I'm probably not going to keep this. I might just say, what, I'll go with a brand new 16 gig kit and maybe just leave this one out, or who knows, I might even return it. Who really knows at this point. But I just definitely wanted to get the system up and running, which does require this. And a lot of the RAM nowadays is still actually sold out just because it's so new. A lot of the better kits that are 8 gigabytes or 16 gigabytes are all sold out at the moment from Amazon, Newegg, all the big guys. So the only things that are available are like 32 gig kits, and those are just hundreds of dollars, and I don't really need that right now, so this is going to do for now. But like I said earlier, 2133 megahertz, 288 pins, pretty standard stuff. So that said, let's go ahead and open this guy. And that said, you can overclock this RAM, if you really want to spend some time, which I probably will just because I can. So that said, the RAM frequency on the front here isn't necessarily what it has to be operated at. It's just kind of a starting point. So that said, here we have the DDR4 stick of RAM. So it's hard to notice. I mean, I think that because there's a couple extra pins there, like what, 48 extra pins, something like that. It doesn't really feel all that much longer, but I bet if you held it up against just a standard DDR3 module, it would probably appear just a little bit longer. But there we go. This is an 8 GB stick of Crucial DDR4 RAM. Once again, 2133 megahertz. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that off to the side here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get in here to the 5820k. Like I said, this is like the bottom two. I believe this is 3.2 gigahertz, and I believe the next one up, I'm not exactly sure what it is, in terms of like this is a 5820k. That one might be like a 5840k or something like that. I'm not too familiar with this platform just yet. I believe that one comes in at like 3.4 gigahertz, so just a little bit faster. But once again, of course, this thing can be overclocked, and I'm going to be putting a Corsair H100i cooler on this, so you can definitely push some crazy, I would say 4.5 and above overclocks with that. So 6-core processor here, and for like $200 less than a 4930K is, looks like it got a little bit jacked up in shipping there. Better be okay. That said, compared to that, this is actually like $200 cheaper. And from what I've heard at stock, the performance isn't that much different, which goes to show the power of the X99 platform. But I will have a comparison of the two chips on my channel here in the next coming days, maybe a week or two. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already for a 4930K versus 5820K comparison, X79 versus X99. Like the video for that. So let's go ahead and dive into the box here. I have a super crazy sharp knife here. Kids, do not try this at home. We're going to break that nice little Intel factory seal, which is probably the most satisfying thing I'll do all day. Kind of sad, at least up to this point. Okay, so we're taking the CPU out of the box here. And so first, Core i7 processor, nice little case sticker on the back, which I don't plan on using. I'm not the kind of person that puts stickers on my case usually, aside from an Apple sticker. I do have an Apple sticker on my case, but I think that's justified considering this is a Hackintosh. Aside from that, though, we have some nice boring foam here, or not foam, but cardboard. Here's just some McAfee stuff. I don't know why, some kind of contract there. I don't know, they're making some money somewhere for including that in the box. And here we have the actual CPU itself. Now, like I said, it does look like this got a little bit jacked up in shipping, so I'm sure all is well, but as you can see, it's a little bit crooked in its packaging. That said, see if we can get you guys to read this. 5820K, of course, Costa Rica. Does it say the frequency? Oh, this is actually 3.3 gigahertz. My apologies for that. 3.3 gigahertz, not 3.2, but hey, that's a good mistake. I like being 0.1 gigahertz faster across 12 threads. And this is me coming, like I said, from a processor that I've had for 4 years now, a little bit over 4 years. That's only a quad core, stock speed at 2.8. I've been running it at like 3.2-ish for a while. So this is going to be a huge upgrade for me. This is just going to blow that thing out of the water. And that is actually now going to be my ESXi host. So hopefully some videos coming on that as well. But here we go. And actually what I can do for you guys, because I love you so much, is take this out of the packaging. And there you have the CPU itself, the 5820K. Alright, so with those two extremely exciting unboxings out of the way, here's going to be the unboxing of the X99-UD4 motherboard from Gigabyte up here. Just a really quick look around the box. Inside, the little Intel Inside stickers. X99 chipset. Obviously, it supports Intel Core processors like the one that I just unboxed for you guys. Right here, you do have the different socket, LGA 2011 version 3. On the back here, just a really quick glance. Just overall a bunch of features that the X99 platform brings. One thing that I really like is the number of SATA ports. We now have up to 10 native SATA 3 ports, which is freaking awesome. That's one thing that gets me pretty excited, as the prices of solid state drives keep freaking falling, which is metal. Hopefully one day, someday, fairly soon, all my storage is going to be solid state and I can really utilize all those SATA 3 ports. So that's it, opening up the box here, which I do want to mention is pretty neat. Not unlike some boards that I've seen, it does have a nice little transparent window here that you can actually see the motherboard. And some pretty neat work on the box here, nice little faded, almost like a full to black kind of a gradient. Looks pretty sweet. Overall, I love the look of this motherboard. It looks very Gigabyte-like, I guess you could say, but the color scheme they chose I think is pretty neat. So here's the motherboard itself, and for now I'm going to put this off to the side. And what we'll do is we'll dive a little bit farther into the box here and just cover the accessories that this board comes with. So here we have all the various accessories. Here is the rear I/O panel, and you may notice this guy looks a little bit different. That's because something new that Gigabyte has added. Maybe they took this cue from Apple. The back, the rear I/O, or I guess I'll start with the Mac Pro. If you switch the Mac Pro onto the back, if you rotate it, how the rear I/O illuminates and lights up. This rear I/O always is on. It always has a nice LED there, so you can always see exactly what you're being plugged into, which is awesome for me because my tower sits under my desk and it's pretty dark back there. I mean, it's just under a desk, so it's nice to be able to see that stuff with no difficulty. That's going to be pretty sweet. Here we do have a 4-way SLI bridge, which I do not have 4-way SLI. That's kind of overkill for the things that I do. And OS X doesn't even really utilize SLI, so that'd be pointless for me. Here's a 3-way bridge, although the same size as the 4. It's missing one connection here. Here we have a 2-way Crossfire bridge for you AMD folks out there. Here we have a 3-way SLI, which is the same thing as the other one, just smaller form factor. Here we have some SATA cables, and those are some really neat SATA cables, guys. Let me go ahead and open these up, actually. Let's go ahead and we'll bring out the fancy knife here. Once again, do not attempt this at home. Now, these SATA cables look pretty sweet. These are like packaged really nicely. Hopefully this can focus here. It would be nice. You can see kind of the texture that these have on them, which is really neat, and they include 4 of these cables. So I've seen other manufacturers, Asus, include some more. I've had up to 10 included in a single board before, which I think is kind of overkill. So 4 is nice, especially because they're kind of like these premium quality ones. These seem to be pretty nice SATA cables, so I'm definitely going to use these and not the ones that are in my drawer that look like a bunch of spaghetti. These kind of stand out to me. Thank you for those, Gigabyte. I will definitely be using those. Here we have some different power adapters. So this is going to be what looks like for some PCI power. So these are all just 8 pins. We have female, and female, male. I probably won't use that, and looks like I missed a little 2-way SLI bridge. And of course you get your manuals, all your fun stuff, and of course you get a nice little driver disk, which I think they should just give us a little flash drive. I mean, because a lot of people that build, especially these types of machines, probably aren't going to go out and buy an optical drive. So I think it's best that they would just include this stuff on flash drive. But hey, I don't work at Gigabyte. I'm not the person to talk to about that. I can already feel this video is getting to be kind of long, so I'm going to go ahead and try to wrap this up here. Here's the motherboard, the X99-UD4, coming out of the anti-static wrap. And yes, I have tried my best to get rid of any static electricity. I did touch the metal poles on my desk. I don't have a bracelet or anything, but I've tended to have very, very good luck with this stuff over the past. I've never fried a motherboard or anything. So with that out of the way, here we have the X99-UD4 from Gigabyte. Like I said, I love the color scheme. This thing I didn't even notice, this nice heat pipe going from the chipset down here all the way up to the circuitry, the VRM up here. I think that's really nice to have that nice long heat pipe. Other similar designs, sometimes they snake around here, then they come down like this. I think I prefer that, but this definitely doesn't hurt as well, especially being so close to the RAM. I'm wondering if this doesn't heat up a lot, if it's going to start to affect the temperature of the RAM here. Not sure, but I'm sure they've designed it. I'm sure they've tested it, so I don't think we'll run into any problems here. So big ol' in the center right there. There's your socket 2011 version 3, where your processor sits right there. Here we have the DDR4 memory in quad channel. You have 4 DIMMs over here and 4 DIMMs over here, up to a maximum of 64 gigabytes of RAM, which I don't intend on using anytime soon. But like I said, I currently have 12 in my X58 system, and I definitely want more. I'm thinking 32 is the sweet spot where I want to be, but that's for a future upgrade. Moving right over here, we have a standard 24-pin ATX connector. Up top here, just a standard 8-pin for extra CPU power for those awesome overclocks, which I do intend on doing, absolutely. Down here, one of my favorite features, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 SATA 3 ports. This is awesome to me. This is a BFD. Down here, you do have a different SATA standard. So really, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. for everyday, just regular SATA hard drives or SATA 3 based solid state drives, things like that. But for me, that's awesome. I definitely intend on filling a good amount of these up right away, and definitely in the future replacing my existing storage with some solid state storage. Rock on for solid state. Here we have a plethora of PCI options. I believe there are 2x16. I'd have to look at the exact spec sheet, but we do have 4 total PCI Express 3.0. We have 3 PCI 1X slots right there. And here, this is, I believe, a little Thunderbolt add-in, which I do intend on testing in the future. I'm not sure if they're currently available. I know Asus has a card that you can plug into an Asus board. In terms of what Gigabyte's offering, I'm not exactly sure of the status of that, but I will let you guys know about that more in the future. And like I said, because this isn't going to be a really in-depth overview, here's just one last look, and the last thing I'll talk about with you guys is the rear I/O. So flipping over here to the back, PS2 ports, I never use them in an OS X. You can't without a custom kernel extension. But for gamers, here you go. Yeah, keyboard and mouse right here. We have 4 USB 2.0 ports. This right here is, I believe, actually no, that's on Asus that they have the BIOS flashback. This is a white one, which maybe Gigabyte now has something kind of similar. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to assume that's like a 2.0. That said, though, we do have 3 3.0s here, 2 more 3.0s here, so tons, I repeat, tons of USB ports here. We do have, I believe this is an Intel, controlled Ethernet port here, so Intel chipset, pretty awesome. Here's your back panel audio. This does have an ALC 1150 audio chipset that I do remember, which does work with OS X. And this looks to be just like a little antenna bracket. If you want to go out and buy an antenna and mount it in there, that's fine. And so with that said, guys, this is just my, I guess, semi-brief unboxing of a bunch of X99 goodness. Do stay tuned to my channel in the very near future for lots of, like I said, comparisons, just overall X99 content. And feel free to leave comments on this video of the types of content that you guys want to see out of this X99 hardware. So with that said, thank you guys very much for watching. I'm at CPU Kid on Twitter. Also be sure to check out RocheTechnology.com, and I hope to see you guys back here in the very, very near future.